What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out Sovereign Syndicate. This is a game that's attacking from a different direction. This is an RPG, a CRPG specifically, something like Baldur's Gate, but it's got itself fashioned as like a combatless version, so something like Disco Elysium, where a lot of the entertainment value from this game is going to come from the writing. That's a very precarious, I think, sort of ledge to stand on. It's a very bold thing to make an RPG with no combat, because it's very much an expected trope of the genre. So if that's the direction you're gonna go, that storyline writing is gonna be next level, just like Disco's was. And so we're gonna dive on in today, play for about 30 minutes, see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or otherwise pass on. The game is down there in the description. On top of that, you can also take a look down there and you can find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream in case you wanted to hang out live. I'm live most days of the week over there. But let's dive on in and see what's going on with sort of this diesel punk minotaur RPG. There's Atticus Daly as he explores the seedy underbelly of London's East Docklands in search of his mother, a reason for living, and his next fix. Oh, we start out as like a addict. Okay, cool, man. We can pick an archetype. We've got animal instinct. Your fiery temper is your minotaur blood's fault. He embraces intimidation and combat swearing. He has a handle on his vices. You can go with spryness. As a magician, he is trained in escape tricks and sleight of hand. He is light-footed and nimble for a minotaur. I mean, how light-footed can you be when you have hooves? They go clop, clop, clop. Like, I don't know if the rogue profession is really made for minotaurs. Rationality suits him in a world that is unforgiving. He meets challenges with a silver tongue and understands basic machinery. Or we can be self-disciplined. You grew up in a crowded orphanage using illusory magic to disguise yourself as a human. He moderates his urges and keeps a cool head. Nah, dude, I want to break people's shins. Like, it's so rare that I get to play a minotaur in a video game. We've been blessed with 2 games in 1 week that let me be a minotaur, and they're like my 3rd favorite fantasy race. So, like, let me just bust somebody's shins as I'm big, I'm like 9 feet tall, and like nobody can intimidate me. I'm huge. Dark shape looms over you. Against the guttering lamplight, the black-shadowed form hovers unsteadily like a cutout in a magic lantern. You can't be sure whether it's real, a living thing, or another grim manifestation from your week-long bender, which at first blush you appear to have survived. Or is it the face of death come to claim you? In any case, the specter seems to be in no hurry to move along. Painful memories prick your gin-addled brain, and now you recall why you're here. Oof, gin. Brutal. I'm more of a vodka tequila guy personally. I'm a big fan of tequila more than anything else, but like gin, not my scene. You chose this alleyway in London's East End to drown the last of your days in drink. Well, if this apparition isn't the angel of death, then even at suicide, you have failed. Atticus, he's coming. Wake up. Get out of my head, crone. Atticus Daly. Nothing but a dark silhouette for a face. No, that's a mask. His voice is cold and mechanical like the hinge of a heavy iron door, concealing his identity, no doubt. Self-discipline? 56% chance. Hey, all right. That's what I'm talking about. Who are you? Instead of a response, he proffers me a tin-stippled flask. A small kindness. Sure, absolutely, dude. I'd been hoping for the hair of the dog, but alas, only the chloric bite of London tap water. Better than a parched mouth, and at least a bit restorative. Stowing the flask, the stranger leans back into the dim light of gas lamps. I can finally see his features in full. He wears a brass-button traveling waistcoat, complete with a scarlet hood and a mask of ornate gold panels. It glitters in the gaslight, delicately crafted. Finery like I've never seen before. On your feet now, sorry, sight. Dizzy from the head rush, it is hard to keep my balance. Who are you and what do you want with me? A friend, and I'm in need of your services. A friend, but a man of his station so deep in the Docklands spells trouble. Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. I'll need a minute. Fair enough. I'll be watching. The stranger pulls back his waistcoat, showing off a gilded flintlock pistol. Over the years, many a minge bag have come to collect. This barmy naff is no different. So many outstanding debts and foregone second chances. Is it all finally catching up with me? No matter. Let it be. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Be resolute. All right, we make our own messes, and then we walk through them with our chins stuck out. Temperament is a representation of your character's mental state. So we can be desperate, we can be weary, content, optimistic, hopeful. I guess it will change our dialogue choices based on where we're at with our own personal morale. Come now, surely things aren't so dire. It's up to me seeing every impulse to an outcome, snuffing out the pleasures of life should I so desire. What I need is peace and quiet, a place to clear my mind. Oh, I got phlegm! Yay! What I need is peace of mind. Not sure if it's peaceful or quiet, but behind that padlocked door, you can escape the stranger. That is a big padlock. An evening cane concealing a steel blade and a cherrywood sheath. Below the brass figurehead is a band of crushed velvet, battle-scarred and with a well-worn handle, and suitable in aristocratic circles. I'll take it. Why not? I really should keep better track of my belongings, even on a gin bender. Yeah, what could go wrong, dude? Alcoholism and swords. Nothing bad could ever happen from those two things combined. So from where I sit, it looks like there's a number of things that I can interact with. Let's check the newspaper real fast. Illustrated London News, this week's edition. A fleet-footed journalist takes to the East End underground and undercover, the hard-boiled scoop on the courtesan killer. Who's really behind the murders and what is Scotland Yard still hiding from the public? Read on for the gory details. The story will boil your blood. Your inner voices are at odds. When you choose one voice or another, it'll change the balance of your humor. Over time, these voices will get louder. Hazard of the job, I suppose. But it's a shame. No one deserves to die like that. Maybe not, but they knew the risk. The East End is an unforgiving place. Choice is a luxury some can't afford. There's always a choice, and I've made my share of bad ones, and even so, it turned out fine. Perhaps I got lucky. Maybe someone's watching over me. Bollocks. Nobody's done me any favors. Why should I go out of my way to help them? I mean, you know, it's an RPG and we need a quest, so why not? Let's investigate the lady murders of the East Docklands. I'm no police special, but I'll see what I can find. Genever, what's Genever? A Dutch spirit. Never heard of it. It's a malt wine flavored with juniper. Interesting. That actually sounds intriguing. I'd like to try that. I'm kind of like I'm like a foodie with alcohol. I love trying new alcohols from like all over the world. Whiskeys and sake and, you know, bakbunjaju and like all kinds of things. I love trying out different countries' wines and things that they make because everybody does it a little bit different and none of them are like better or worse. They're just different from one another, and sometimes the notes can be very, very interesting in some of the alcohols. Wager there are remnants of a day drowned in sorrow. Feels like ages ago. Looks to me like a day well spent. It's quite a bit of liquor. I'm surprised I'm still standing. Speaking of which, let's see if there's more. I think I'm good. I think we're inside that phase right now where, you know, like when you drink super hard, like you have like a really, really hardcore binge night and then you don't drink for a couple weeks afterwards. Like, all right, got it out of my system. I'm good here. No more for me. Thank you. I need a week or two of drying out after that one. A slatted wooden basket made from hazel cuttings. Willow branches weave around the bottom for support. Why am I up here looking at a basket? There's got to be more important matters to deal with. I can smell the rotting fish from here. Several days past prime. Lean in. Do it. White strips of flesh swimming in a pool of decomp. Kippered herring? Self-discipline. I mean, I play Battle Brothers, so 40% chance to hit doesn't scare me. No! I got like a minus 100. That's like the worst you can possibly get. Knocked back to my haunches, there's a lingering rotten meat stench in my mouth. Gulping at the cool air, I find my footing away from the basket. Dude, we just missed out on treasure. We just missed out on treasure. I can tell this is a game that I'm going to save scum the hell out of. I can tell already. Unless it predetermines all the dice rolls when the map loads. Some games do that. Got like vagrants over here. 3 rootless souls taking their ease in the heat of a steam vent, one of the few free comforts to be had in London town. Drifts around the city. This is Poe Pickett. Drifts around the city so much it's hard not to know him. Might not remember me, though. Balderdash. Landlord, bloody meter refuses to fix the heat in my abode. The mutton shunters cast me out on the bricks like flicking an ant off a sleeve. The unfortunate companions huddle for warmth, their tattered garments splashed with ale stains. These men are dusty, perpetually so. Not that I miss the old quarters with the endless boiler-doubled troubles. 'Twas not much warmer than out here. He looks at me, askance. Wager his mood still needs thawing. Oi, Orns, if you're not handing out hot meals, bugger off. Talking takes thinking, and I ain't got a lot of that to spare in case you didn't notice. I mean, have you seen how much bigger than you I am? You don't get to talk to me like that, my dude. I'm like 10 feet tall and carrying a sword. You can find out. We can put you on page 3A of the news if you want. Julian Bertram O'Brien, orphans missing from Sacred Heart Orphanage. Small reward furnished upon any information leading to their safe return. Have a heart for the poor children. Okay. What's that got to do with me now? When a tragedy strikes, the ripples are far-reaching. A brother and sister gone missing from where I was brought up. Maybe I should investigate since I was an orphan. There are unsettled spirits in the Docklands, and like it or not, I play a part in their pageantry. Hopefully not as some marionette with strings to pull for amusement. And I should have leave no cobble unturned. Alright, yeah, we can go look for them, whatever. Something's not right here. Orphans in the Docklands need all the help they can get. I like how we just went from like a alcoholism-fueled bender waving a sword around and being threatened by a guy with a pistol to being like, you know what I should do right now? Let's help the children. So what was up with that padlock door they pointed out? Like, is there anything I can do with that? Also, so it looks like, are we like getting points here? So the more you make the decisions that have to do with the tarot deck, the more it levels up that tarot deck. So far, I'm happy with the writing, though. Syntax. It looks like prose. Everything is... They have obviously hired someone that knows their way around the English language. It's not overtly flowery, like something you would find in, like, an Alexis Kennedy game, or in, like, Disco Elysium, which was basically just a giant literature test. Like, you ever notice that with Disco Elysium? Like, whoever made that game was really, really well read. Like, the amount of literary references and whatnot in that game were hardcore, which carried a lot of the attitude or whatever. But still, this is good writing compared to most RPGs. A heavy door that's blocking my escape from the stranger. There's an oxidized chain and a padlock over the hasp. Yeah, just break the thing, dude. I guess we could try spryness. Is it going to let me go again? Unfortunate. Blood, what does that do? Oh, it's because I tried to play around with the skill set with spryness. Gotcha. All right. Bust that thing. Crunch. That'll do. I don't imagine the lock will ever be used again either. Wonder where this passage goes. Away from that stranger's enough for me. Okay. Do I go into the warehouse? There's another building over here, and there's some other stuff to investigate. And if there's one thing games like this have taught me, it's that you want to click all the things. Mechanical odds and ends shimmering in the gaslight. Worth a little tin if you deal them to an engine man. All right, yeah, grab them. Sounds good to me. Get ourselves a little tiny bit of scratch. What's up with the palladium? What goes on in here? Last night's hard to recall. Bodily aches suggest they threw me out around closing time. Oh, they won't let me back in. I'm banned from the palladium. Gotcha. I'm no longer welcome inside of there. The passage is lined with stone walls, damp from the evening fog and the underground steam boiler used to heat the tenements above. Barrels line the walls and seem to occupy every available space in this underground storeroom. Cane rats scurry and squeak in the corners, kneading at their nests. The air is stagnant, full of dust and mold, and a ways off there's the sound of a pump house at work, no doubt channeling sewage into the Thames. There's a dim light ahead. Perhaps you can find help, or at least a way out of the stranger's grasp. On your guard now. No telling what's going on down here. I've seen the worst of the underground in my day. If trouble comes, I've got a blade and a silver tongue. Let's open this coffer up. What's in here? Cedar panel cornered with iron, a sturdy but time-worn container. Need to break into everything. What am I, a minotaur or a magpie? Break it open. Bully, that felt right. It's been too long since I broke something. Yeah, and there's only that gin bibber behind us who might have heard, but he's too full of liquor to pay attention. What treasure is it? Trousers with a bib sewn across and a pulley zipper fastening. The head torch runs on a copper coil battery. There's boots and breeches, a waistcoat that has enough pockets to carry a dining set. To be sure, it's a sandhog uniform. Construction workers in the underground tunnels. So what if I tear at the seams? It's not like someone's missing this pile of rags. The shoulder flaps will have to hang loose, my chest being too wide to snap the buttons down the placket. What's a placket? An opening in a garment with fastenings. Maybe? Oh, dude. We were so close. We were only off by 2. Just gotta force it. The torso belts break from their loops and shred the fabric. Can't wear it now. Oh, that sucks. Dolores might be able to fix it, but that means a trip to the Red Lantern Lane. Oh, well, that's cool. At least they gave us an out. Like, so the big risk that you run into with any dice-based game like this is that these are trying to replicate the enjoyment of playing a tabletop game. But the thing that video games always get wrong is that in a tabletop game, you fail forward. So when you fail, that's merely just another diving board for more improv and creative solutions to problems. Whereas in a video game, when you fail a dice roll, you just lose and get nothing. And that entire arc of a narrative or dungeon or storyline is closed to you. You don't get the treasure, you don't get the whatever else. Whereas in tabletop, you could try a bunch of other methods. I think that's why dice rolls in video games always end up really unsatisfying and why people save scum so much. And that's why Disco Elysium was so brilliant, is because Disco Elysium, the fail states were oftentimes funnier and more rewarding than the success states. But either way, you always moved forward no matter what, you know? This could be a sign to lay off the swill for a little while. Yeah, probably. Probably not the worst idea. If I quit outright, I'll keel over. Better start with 1 less drink a day. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. A lot of people don't know that, but alcoholism is one of the few addictions that will kill you if you stop it cold turkey. There's not a lot of drugs that'll do that, but alcohol dims the receptors in your brain. That's what makes you feel good, is it dims the electrical receptors in your brain. And as you become an alcoholic, your brain starts sending the signals harder and harder and harder in order to get through that buffer that the alcohol is creating. And that's where your resistance comes from. But when you're a hardcore alcoholic, the electrical signals in your brain can be so strong that they quite literally fry your own brain mass if you cold turkey, because the electrical signals need that buffer to be there now. They expect it to be there, and so you can actually just fall over and die. It's pretty rough. The naysayers will gab as they please, but I'm ready to change. Enough meandering. Let's get on with it. What's up with this dude? You want to wake up? You want to fight me? 30-something cove riding on the cobbles. Must have had his fill. If he was on guard, easy enough to get by him. Or bash his head in. Might be safer that way. Sure. Am I about to murder a stranger in his sleep? I mean, maybe not. I don't know, dude. Coward, you shouldn't be so easily swayed. I can at least pick his pocket. Hey, I thought because it was red we failed. We got blood and we got 5 shillings, 6 pence. I'm going to confess to you that because I'm not from Cockney 1850s Britain, I don't know how your base 6 money works. I can only assume that 6 pence goes into a shilling and 6 shillings go into a pound, because all I know about this old style of money is that it was base 6 or something like that, so everything went up to a 6 or something, but other than that, that's all that I know. All right, let's get on out of here. 5 shillings for this time period, I think, is a pretty good chunk of money, isn't it? For the 1800s, anyways. Wrought iron loosened by a crack. Somebody's hiding place. Yep, the cover's bull heavy. Try to lift it. Hey, all right. Our luck's turning around. The body, muscle and fiber, bone marrow, one last temple in a world of psychic demons. There's a latch compartment below the manhole cover, but it's padlocked too tightly to break. Locked. There's a mound of tin inside. Easy now. Let's not slip into a maze. A maze? A maze, okay. There has to be something here. How about I reach back in the corner? Ow! A sudden pain jolts through your hand. There's a cane rat making a home down there. No chance he... Oh, dude, I'm really bad at self-discipline. Like, my hope is getting pretty brutal right now. We failed a lot of things. Looks like we found more gears. There you go. We'll find an engineer around. Moldy box over here. Smash that thing. What's in it? It caves in with a crack and a cloud of fetid dust. Don't cough. Somebody's going to come and beat the bushes. Uh-oh. Catching on the moldy dust cloud, my chest heaves with a coughing fit. Spiteful crate. I should have never opened it. Wait, is that footsteps? All I can hear is the distant sound of gurgling. Is that the gin bibber splashed out on the floor? Let's hope it was only him. By some blessing, it seems nobody heard me, but I should know how to stifle a cough. Shouldn't a mage have a kerchief? Only the disappearing kind. Need more looting like this, and I'll need a face mask. If I meet another minotaur, they might have a spare. Good lot of us live in the underground. Enough rumination. Let's see what's in there. All right, let's see what's in it. Nothing in there but a cold piece of metal. A pry bar. I can make use of this. Okay. Some ropes up there. I'll take it. It's brittle, but it might be good for something. I mean, it might just be a lashing, you know what I mean? Like, maybe don't use it to climb or do anything too crazy, but... Watch it. Somebody on the stairs. With that head torch, he's on patrol. I don't think he takes kindly to trespassers. Let's go with spryness, I guess, since that's one of our stronger stats. There's a pool of shadow at the back of the hallway. I'll also fight him if I have to. Oh, my animal instinct went up. His face is filthy, mud-streaked, and unshaven, and his head torch is near as bright as the daylight down here. Smells worse than sewer walls. He's a bilge man. Oi! What's a bovine doing down this way? You better scram before I call the hounds. If you're trespassing... I'll tell the truth. I'm running from a bounty hunter, a mortally unpleasant fellow, if you catch my meaning. Fear of life lost, common excuse. For my sake, I wish it was otherwise. It would explain your disposition, your tattered waistcoat. What's the idea of having such finery? Only let it run to rags. A string of bad luck. Yeah, I've been there. Anyways, I'm too busy to riddle with some strange folk, even if they're trespassing. Appreciate it. I promise not to fiddle with the pipes. Yeah, that'd be right and fly, and I better get back to work. I mean, that went a little bit better than I suspected. Like, honestly, though, the funny thing is, like, I'm playing this game, and, like, when you're a minotaur, it's kind of strange, the power fantasy that I have going on right now. Like, I'm so much bigger and so much gnarlier than everybody else that I'm personally not that particularly worried about any kind of conflict, especially because we spec'd into conflict. A brass-banded traveling trunk with sturdy quarters, fit for a long journey. It's out of place down here. There's tin inside, I know it. But the padlock has a carbon steel shackle and pin tumblers that are triple reinforced. Spryness first? Hey, there you go. I figure, like, if we always go with our weakest stat, it'll level up. With a raspy click, the tumblers find the shear line, but as soon as I turn the cylinder, the entire plug slides out. Ah, blast, there's a catch on the inside and there's no way of reaching it. You could try to force it, but I don't want to make a racket. Why not? The bilge man's gone now. No one else to worry about, right? Is there? 1 second, we'll take a look around for a minute. There's a furnace automaton over here. Speak up, who disrupts the air? A famous musician, but in the underground you mustn't have heard of me. I love magic. Whenever I bend the heat to a proper boil, sometimes I fancy myself a firemancer. My name's Hera. The letters Hera are blazoned on the chest piece. What's up with the barrels? What are they filled with? Oh, gin. The hounds are distilling it with the heat from the boiler, and somehow the Sherlock tenements upstairs haven't caught on yet. Those people must be freezing, and it's only autumn, but it feels like midwinter. I'd rather have the extra gin. It brings down the price, so we could always deal with a little cold. A lot of my ilk came up from those tenements. Couldn't face the dock hounds alone. It's hard enough keeping my own head above water. Yeah, they won't be easily swayed. Bootlegging is a regular tin press. More info? What else do you know about the barrels? The steam gets siphoned, the barrels come and go, some are fresh, some have stood for months, ready for a swiller. The machine is keeping track, automatic circuits indeed. When the flame is healthy, I turn my attention to the walls, and before you know it, I'm whirring away. Alright, if the hounds are stealing steam, then it's a good reason to steal some of their other bootleg for myself. I'm not fit with a virtue circuit, but if you're convinced yourself, you're clear of any moral infidelity. Actually, is there a way out? Over there's a grate that leads to the sewers, but barring that, nowhere to go but the way you came. It doesn't look like there's anybody else around. I'm trying to stick to the task here and get this trunk open. Alright, get the pry bar on it. Alright. What's this? A bottle of gin I've yet to try. The fates have been kind for once, especially kind. Looks like they provided me with lots of capital. 2 pounds. That's a pretty good grip of cash for like 1840, right? Like the Victorian age. That's gotta be like 2 pounds is probably a lot of money for somebody back then. I broke out an inflation calculator, and honestly, what has happened to the pound sterling is really depressing, but it seems to be hitting everybody's money. But anyways, that's like $300 worth of cash in 1850. So yeah, they weren't lying. They gave us some serious capital right there. Like $300 can fix some serious problems. A few cigarettes to round out the package. Bully, it's not every day you get this stuff for free. Yeah, dude. All right, let's get on into this grate right here. What's up with the furnace, though? Sorry, I'm kind of like ADD about games like this. I have to like look at everything and touch everything. Embers burning fiercely as if by the jewel-bright core of every flame on Earth. Hot coals banked with an unsurpassed dexterity. Errors all but eliminated. Nothing to do here but stare at the flames. Tiger-bright flames in the brass-bellied furnace, dying and living and dying and being reborn. Alright, let's get out of here. I stared at the furnace and I lost a bunch more of my hope. Edging through the grate, you're greeted by the droning sound of rushing water and a smell that's near unbearable, hanging in the air so thick that you can almost taste it. Hooves are clumsy in the dark as you stumble above the passageway, the sound of the water flow and machinery echoing off the bricks from all directions. A meshing of gears that's familiar but unsettling. Following the light, you come into a torch-lit chamber, but it seems like you're not alone. Notes of troubled voices speak over the noise in an air of indignance and irritation, but also fear and desperation. Something's not right here, and you've stumbled on an argument, no doubt, but worse than that is a deep foreboding. Something else shares the sewer, a deeper evil that crawls through the bowels of London. A welter of bricks and rotting planks blocking the way through. No sense dulling my cane sword for this. Alright, so we can't go that way. You know it's going to be one of those Disco Elysium games when your character has like 300 lines. You have like 300 words of spoken text about how depressing a crate is that you found in the sewer. Let's keep going over here. We got a patrolman, huh? What happens if I fight him? A patrolman up ahead, don't flex a muscle. Who's that creeping in the shadow light? State your business. A cyclops with a pike spade, standard issue for sewer work. Area's off limits, layman. Besides, you're not dressed for it. He's full of piss and vinegar, but also full of poppycock. I'd wager his authority's a claim and nothing more. Already have the stranger to worry about, and am I up to challenging this lanky bloke too? I mean, we got a 93% chance to bully the guy. Might as well. I mean, get the level up, you know. None of your concern. Clear out before I bash in your goggle. Look here, chucklehead. I respect a head full of steam as much as the next cove, but I'm the pump house captain. As much I'd like to flay a trespassing minotaur, then have the wife fry you up as a strip steak, I really have better things to do. Even so, it is time for a few inquiries. Is there a way out? Off limits. Besides, she's locked down for maintenance. If I was you, I'd head up street side before the morning doves. What about that argument? Well, the tall fellow holds weight with the hounds. I wouldn't want to interfere. Right, I'll just be on my way. The pump house captain breathes a sigh of relief. I mean, I wouldn't want to fight a minotaur with a shovel either. That feels unlikely to work out for me. A barrel is on the ledge while an argument rages. I can hide up here and watch the dispute. You'll pad me pockets until I say die. He's hounding this poor girl for capital. Only a ladsman would stoop so low. What's a ladsman? A criminal teaching children how to steal in exchange for a cut of the profits or assistance such as safe. Law. Okay, so she's basically like one of those little Cockney thieves you see in every period piece from now. I'm sick of stealing. I'm sore of all the begging. It's shameless. Doesn't seem like a fair fight. She might come to harm if I don't step in. I mean, he's got a truncheon and a stick. I don't think that's going to help much against us. Let's intervene. Better think fast. What can I do from here? Knock down the teetering barrel. It'll give the kid a chance to run off. Fine idea. I like it. Oh, cool. It gives us like a little animation up here. It's like a zoetrope or whatever. Oh, no, never mind. It's got cigarette burns and lines, so this is actually like silent film. Gotcha. Heavy lugger, too, full of moonshine. Catching him dead in the chest. He's off his feet. The cut purse watches the old badger wash away. What a shot! Come down here so I can thank you. Nice, dude. I did a good thing, and now I'm no longer depressed. I'm only weary. Yay! What's this over here? Through the hall is a chorus of machinery. The torpid crank of some heavy clockwork and the chittering of a telegraph, the ever-present rumble of steam in the walls. The archway is fit with a blast door that's been left open, a control room for the pump house, no doubt. Okay. We're kind of out of time for the day. This sucks, dude, because I want to play more. The writing's actually pretty decent here. Like, I'm enjoying what's going on. Like, they're forestalling. So normally with these kinds of dialogue-based games, I personally get really bored really quickly. But what I like about this title is that it's constantly feeding you up some kind of dice roll to do. Like, there is constantly something that it's asking you, what do you want to do? Do you want to be spry? Do you want to be, you know, buff? Do you want to be violent? Do you want to be intimidating? Do you want to be charismatic? Like, there's enough agency here that I feel myself, like, getting drawn in and wanting to do the next one for the fun of it. And I like the very unique nature of the fact that how many RPGs exist out there where you don't create your own character, but the main character is an alcoholic minotaur in, you know, diesel punk London. You know what I mean? That's actually kind of dope. Like, I dig that premise. It's very unique, if nothing else. The writing seems to be on point so far. So I'm kind of excited about playing this one a little bit more, in all honesty. I came into this video kind of like, I don't really like dialogue-based RPGs. Like, I'm not hugely into them. I like Disco Elysium, but that's because Disco Elysium was like a once-in-a-generation game, you know what I mean? But I'm digging this. I'm having a good time with this due to the novelty factor. You guys always know how much I appreciate novelty. So I'm going to leave it there. I'll leave you to assemble your thoughts about it. The novelty has me hooked right now in the first 40 minutes or so of playing the game, which is a good sign. That means that they've pitched a world that I'm interested about learning more about. And even though the game doesn't seem to have combat, it does seem to have a lot of choices that can result in sort of cutscene combat almost. And so your character does still get to flex his muscle in the game world or be like a magician or whatever else you want to be. I'm digging it so far. My name is Splattercat. This is Sovereign Syndicate. I will see you all later. Thank you for stopping on in. And that's all I got for you. Bye, folks.